I used to address the master as Apani, a respectful term used for seniors or revered persons, because I did not feel that he was my own uncle. As I could not understand his behavior and moods or samadhi, a doubt arose in my mind. I thought, the master is an unlettered person, but still all great scholars are defeated by him. Is he truly an incarnation of God? So one day I said to the master, a doubt has arisen in my mind about you. I am confused. The master replied, look, Ramlal, one cannot understand this mystery through the intellect. You have seen a sweet. From the outside they look dry, so how would you know that they are full of sweet syrup inside? If you think of me as an avatar, then you are blessed that you have the opportunity to serve me. Besides, you are my blood relative. What else do you want? In those days, I did not recognize the master's greatness. Although we were his blood relatives, we did not realize who he was. But through his grace, I have this much faith, that since we were born into his family, we have found refuge at his lotus feet. From his own lips I heard that when a man attains illumination, 7 generations of his family before and after him become liberated. And to think that the Lord himself was born in our family as a human being. Through Sri Ramakrishna's grace and his holy company, we too have had many visions and spiritual experiences. Thus the Master gave us faith and devotion for him. On the afternoon of 1st January 1886 at the Kasapur Garden House, the Master said to me, Ramlal, today I feel better. Let us go for a walk in the courtyard. And I said, yes, you look better. Let us go. The Master put on his cap that covered his ears and carried a cane in his hand. I put on a shawl and carefully helped him down the stairs. After strolling along the garden path, the Master stood on the lawn and went into ecstasy. He was surrounded by the devotees who began showering flowers on him and chanting hymns. He told them, what more shall I say to you? Be illumined. Then he blessed some devotees by touching their chest. To others he said that they would have to wait for a while. I was then standing behind the Master and thinking, all these devotees have got some spiritual experiences, but what have I achieved? I only carried the Master's water pot and towel. As soon as this thought crossed my mind, the Master looked at me and said, Ramlal, what are you thinking? Come here. He pushed aside my shawl and touched my chest, saying, now see. It is hard for me to describe that wonderful, luminous form. Before that, during my meditation, I could see with my mind's eye only a part of my chosen deity. When I saw his feet, I could not see his face, and again when I saw his form from the face to the waist, I could not see his feet. Moreover, whatever I saw never seemed to be alive. But no sooner had the Master touched me that day than the whole form of my chosen deity appeared in my heart as a living presence, looking benign and effulgent. At the Kasapur Garden House during the Master's last illness, Swami Nirajananda would sit on the staircase to prevent anyone from entering the Master's room. But the Master told his disciples to allow me to visit him at any time. One day when I went to see him, he got up and told me, Ramlal, my hands and feet are burning. Please bring some Ganges water and sprinkle it on me. He was extremely restless. I asked, "What happened?" And he replied, "I came into this world secretly with a few close devotees, and now Ram, that is Ramchandra Datta, is spreading my name. He brings all sorts of people here and asks me to touch and bless them. How much burden can I carry? I have gotten this disease by taking the sins of these people upon myself. Look, I shall not stay in this world any longer." I consoled him. "No, no, you will not have to receive any visitors or touch anybody." Then I brought the Ganges water and washed his hands and feet, and gradually he calmed down. The Master's body was so very pure, and he was all compassionate and a savior of souls. While touching his feet, people prayed for so many things. Many people even criticized him, but the Master carried their spiritual responsibilities as well. When the doctor saw the bleeding in the Master's throat, he forbade him to talk. But the Master talked to the last for the good of the devotees. Sri Ramakrishna's last day. I was not present on the last day of the Master's life. I was sleeping in his room at Dakshineswar. At 2 a.m, Senior Gopal and somebody else, the devotee, I believe it was Latu, came from Kasipur and knocked on my door. They told me, "Swamiji has asked us to bring you to Kasipur immediately." No one present there can ascertain whether the Master is in deep samadhi or has actually given up his body. Swamiji said that since you lived constantly with the Master for so many years, you would be able to judge his condition correctly. I burst into tears and rushed to Kasipur with them. I saw the Master lying flat on his back. His look was steady, and he seemed to be smiling. I said, "I see signs of samadhi, but I suggest that we call Captain, that is Vishwanath Upadhyaya, who is also very knowledgeable." Swamiji immediately sent somebody to call him. When the captain came, he also noticed signs of samadhi and suggested that the ghee be rubbed on the Master's backbone. At first, the backbone felt slightly warm, but gradually it turned cold, and Captain realized then that it was Maha Samadhi and that the Master had passed away. The Master went into Samadhi at 1 o'clock in the morning. By noon, his face was starting to dry out and his eyes gradually closed. I heard that at the last moment, the Master had said only Ma. After Sri Ramakrishna's passing away, a young Ramat monk, a worshipper of Ramachandra in Ayodhya, had a vision that God had again incarnated on earth, somewhere in the east. In order to see him, the monk started on foot eastward from Ayodhya. When he reached Bengal, he heard that there was a great saint named Sri Ramakrishna near Calcutta. He finally found Dakshineswar after a long search and asked someone, "Where is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa?" The people of the Kali temple told him that the Master had just passed away a few days before. Hearing this heartbreaking news, the monk exclaimed, "What? He passed away? I have come from Ayodhya on foot, nearly 1,000 miles just to see him. I went through so much hardship to get here, and he has left the body." And the young monk began to sob. The manager of the Kali temple offered him some food from the temple store, but he refused it. He went to the Panchavati and stayed there for 2 or 3 days without eating. And one night, Sri Ramakrishna appeared before him and said, "You have not eaten anything for several days. I have brought this pudding for you. Please eat it." He fed the monk and then disappeared. The next morning, I went to the Panchavati and found the monk full of joy. I asked, "What happened? You were so unhappy yesterday. Why are you so cheerful today?" Then he told me everything. He even showed me the earthen bowl in which the master had brought the pudding. And this bowl has been preserved for some time, but was eventually lost and destroyed.